Here I am, down by the pond with the camera, and I've looked back over the video that I posted today called Saturday Morning, and I used the iPhone to do that, and I've made a comparison, and I've decided that all the Bealtaine Cottage videos shot at Bealtaine Cottage on the Bealtaine project, I'm going to be using this camera, this Canon camera, and all the stuff off-site I'm going to be using the iPhone, and that was kind of what I was thinking of initially anyway, because I just wanted to have all-round access to the internet and to the social media platforms on behalf of Bealtaine Cottage, because after all, it isn't me that you're seeing, it's this. Now, I'm only going to make one comment on some of the comments, not many, but a few. There was 2 or 3 comments left on YouTube about me compromising, yes, the word was sort of compromising, my values and buying an Apple iPhone. Well, can I just remind everyone that, first of all, there's no advertising on my channel, there's no advertising on my website, I don't indulge in any form of advertising at all. This is not about advertising or making money, this is about Mother Earth, and if I can employ any form of technology in order to spread the word that there is a better way to live with Mother Earth, then I shall, and I have no apologies to make. And if anyone feels indignant enough, over me daring to take money out of the credit union and go and buy a piece of technology in order to put this message out there, then you're probably on the wrong channel. And look to your own life and sort it out, because this channel and everything that I do on social media is about Mother Earth, and it's about the Bealtaine project, and it's about trying to live just a more better life with Mother Earth. That's all. It isn't about me, it isn't about fashion, it isn't about the commercial world or the corporate world or ego. It's not about any of those things. But I'm sure you can find channels that are about those things. So that's it. I've nothing more to say on using my hard-earned money to buy technology to put this beautiful Bealtaine project out there. And in terms of using the iPhone, I'm going to be very happy going off-site, that means away from Bealtaine Cottage, and using the iPhone to record places of interest that I hope you will enjoy. And if you don't enjoy that, that's okay, you don't have to watch the videos. I felt a little bit cross actually when I read those comments. I immediately booted them off into cyberspace, because I don't see why I should allow comments like that under videos that I post of this beautiful place, But then I expect, as in life, social media will always have the naysayers, and I'm very fortunate because I've only come across a few, and that's the truth of it, only a few. The gardens are really opening up now. Look, you can see right across there, you can see Jack all the way through the trees. There's quite a nip in the air, it's quite cold. Now there was one thing that I noticed on the iPhone video, the sound. I'm sure I need to go into the phone and sort of adjust the sound somewhere, so I'll be doing that. I will be correcting that for future videos. But I've got to say, it's a wonderful piece of technology. It allows me to showcase virtually all the experiences that I have, you know, whether it's walking or just driving somewhere, getting to a place of interest, like, you know, Kilronan Abbey. And I would just ask that you just bear with me. Just bear with me while I come to grips with the technology. I've only owned it for 24 hours, you know. So give me a chance. I'm just loving these colours now. That tree in front is a lime tree. Now, it doesn't bear the fruit. It's Tila cordata, I think is the Latin for it. And they're the trees that you grow if you want to create what's called a pleached lime walk. And pleached means where you grow the trees together, they kind of interweave together and form like an archway. Jack's enjoying just having a jolly good sniff around, picking up the scent of the fox and the badger and the small mammals, and of course there's quite a few pheasants nesting here at the moment, because each time I come down the driveway there's at least one that makes a huge noise and flies up and away. Of course they're quite nervous birds because they are hunted. These beautiful leaves, and they're still falling. Gorgeous, just beautiful. Now I'm going to be getting in here amongst these lovely hazel trees. The hazel's really grown. Even towards the end of the summer it's kept growing. So I'm going to be cutting back all the brambles, and you know, you can see here, look where I've made a start. Okay, so I'm going to be cutting back those brambles and getting in amongst the lovely hazel trees and giving them a feed, putting some sheep's wool around them and some compost, and letting them then go to sleep for the winter, knowing that next year they'll be growing with a lot more space around them. So that's the little stream down there. Go on, Jack. I'm not going to cross at this point because that bank over there is a bit slippy. And I don't want to be landing on my backside. So what I'll do is I'll go back down. You can hear the wind just getting up now. I'll just go back down this way. Ooh, it has got quite windy. Very chilly. Quite a chill in the air. Across here. Come through this way. There we go. Just come through this ivy. Lovely big tendrils of ivy just hanging down. This is going to be wonderful for making some of the Christmas wreaths. So I like to make a nice willow wreath for the front door. Maybe one for the back door as well, and just wind the big tendrils of ivy round it. I'll just go up this way, I think. Quite a different look now, isn't it, here in the gardens, the woodland gardens. Well, what started as gardens now turning into woodland gardens. You can just see so much. Really and truly, late autumn and early winter has got such a beauty to it. I think that to plant trees and shrubs in a garden, and to plant them quite intensely, that instead of having lawn, you have little paths. I think what you're creating for yourself and your loved ones is like a little natural lung where good air is created, and which will give you better breathing air around your home. This is something that I have noticed, going away for a day or two, or even just for an afternoon, and then coming back. And I think the air quality around Bealtaine Cottage is lovely. It's very clear. And often in the past I've said, on arriving home, oh, I can breathe again. And I know part of that is just a relief about being home, but another part of that is actually the physical act of breathing becomes easier, becomes pleasanter, because the air here is very clear, it's very clean, and the reason why, of course, is the incredible amount of carbon which is soaked up here on these 3 acres, and then in return the oxygen that the plants and the trees are just pushing out. Almost kind of, if you could imagine someone breathing in pollution and then blowing oxygenated air onto your face. like like an act of love to protect you, to wrap you in life. And that's what trees do. That's what trees and shrubs and plants do. They wrap you up in a blanket of life. They protect you. And this isn't something that I came here thinking consciously about. It's something that I have just witnessed. I have witnessed it over the years as everything has grown here. I've witnessed this life emerge. I really wish that governments and leaders would just get that, would just understand that simple concept. Because, you know, if they did, we would have, instead of, you know, armies of people being sent off to fight, we would have armies of people out on the roads planting. I know that sounds very simple, but if you could imagine that in your mind's eye, you know, when you see all the young men and women lining up in military uniform to get on board planes, to go somewhere, to well, basically fight. If you could imagine them all lining up with backpacks, with little seedling, sapling trees in them, and spades, and just going out there into the world and planting. Wouldn't we be cheering? Wouldn't that be something? Wouldn't that be powerful? I think if I seen that, I'd weep. I think I'd just weep. I'd weep with pride and hope. Think how quickly it could be done. Kilronan Mountain up there, look, it's quite bare. It's quite bare, and every bit of rain that falls washes a little bit more soil away from the mountain and exposes the rock, and eventually there'd be so much rock there'd be nothing that you could plant into. That rock that I'm pointing the camera at has become exposed like that just over the past 6 years. I could bring you back to a video that I made, I think the day after a fire was set there in the heather, and it burnt all the heather, but then that was followed by a drought and a lot of wind, and so all the soil underneath the burnt plants became very dried and started blowing about, and then that was followed by absolutely mammoth, heavy monsoon type rains, and in the space of just a few weeks from beginning to end, that rock was exposed, and that rock, the exposure of that rock has grown each year. I have witnessed that over the past 6 years. Now that's frightening. That's frightening because it doesn't have to be like that. We need to redirect all the forces that we have at our disposal, including ourselves, into planting. And it is the best legacy that we can possibly leave to the next generation. It is a legacy of love and hope. And if getting these tiny messages out into the world can be done with technology, then I'm all for technology. I'm all for it. And no need to be critical. I think actually by using my savings to buy technology is investing in hope. It's investing in hope. I'm going to keep doing it anyway. But as I said at the very beginning of the video, if you want to criticise that, then you'll have to go into cyberspace and find another site where you can do that. If you want to be an armchair warrior, you go ahead and be an armchair warrior. Planting, you know, about 1100 trees plus here certainly wasn't done from an armchair. And I'm 62 now. You know, if the goddess allows me to live till 92, you still won't find me sitting in an armchair, because I'm going to be out there doing everything I can as a legacy for all the people I love, whether they be of my own blood or not. Enjoy your weekend, everyone, and blessings to you.